Hello, my name is Anne, and welcome to my channel, In Search of Wonder. And I am just outside because it is a beautiful, gorgeous day. And I'm just sitting out here enjoying the last little bit of sunshine before the sun goes down. And yeah, so I have today some picture books that I want to share with you. So let's get started. So, if you don't know, I am a music teacher, a general music teacher at a small private school here in Northern Virginia, and I love to incorporate. It's a music literacy based classroom, but I like to incorporate literacy into my classroom as much as possible. By which I mean, I like to bring books in wherever I can, and it usually ends up being books about musical concepts, or books about composers, or books about specific pieces of music. And it also sometimes is a book that can be sung, like it's just an illustrated song in book form. So for the celebration of Picture This 2024, which is all about picture books, I thought I would share with you some of my favorites from my collection at work, and show you some of those fantastic picture books that are all music related to one extent or another. Sometimes they're not really meant to be musical, but I use it in my music class. And they all go with, I picked some that go with the prompts for the Picture This challenge for 2024. And I just realized that I totally forgot about my absolute most favorite book, and it's also my students' most favorite book, and that is Mortimer, which I believe is by Robert Munsch, I think. Anyway, Mortimer is a terribly naughty boy who will not go to bed, and he makes terrible noise, and he sings this song when his mother sends him to bed. And so I give a little tune to it, and the kids sing it, and it is a fantastic book, and this was not my idea. I got it on a blog somewhere years ago. It's a fantastic book for teaching students high and low notes, but also like loud and soft, and notes high and low in the sense of, like, you know, an ascending scale because they go up the stairs, and then a descending scale because they come down the stairs. And so the kids get to make like the sound effects of going up and down the stairs, and I have them do that on a pentatonic scale. And then anyways, they just love it. It's interactive, and they get to sing very, very loudly because Mortimer makes a lot of noise. And also it's silly, like the policemen come to the house because his parents called him because they don't know what to do with him, and he's just being so bad. And it's just a fantastic picture book. I love it so much, and my students love it. It's one of our favorites, but I forgot to include that in and I'm sure I could have fit it into one of the prompts, probably blue. I think there's a lot of blue in it, but anyways, I picked a couple of books for each of the prompts for Picture This 2024, and I just wanted to show them to you. So here we go.
So first we have Rap-a-Tap Tap. This is a book winner of a Caldecott Medal. Quite a few of these, by the way, are winners of the Caldecott Medal. This one is about Bojangles, who was a tap dancer in the 30s, I think. And I loved how this is a rhyming book. This is a very simple poem at the bottom with a refrain of rap-a-tap-tap, think of that, which the children say along with me. And I love how the very simple statements at the bottom say some pretty big things that may or may not go over the children's heads, but it's very profound when you were reading this. And I love the illustrations, and with like the shadows that show the movement, like the gradients there. So the music element comes, I have the kids say that rhyme, rap-a-tap-tap, think of that as I read through it for the refrain. And then I have them step that rhythm with their feet when they're doing it, which in kindergarten, first grade, they really love that. And then there's a little short biography at the bottom. And they're always so excited to find out he was a real person. And this is about Vivaldi, also a real person. So both of these, by the way, work great for People April as well as Picture This. And I mean, you can't go wrong with this setting of Venice. It's just beautiful. And both of these books, by the way, I picked for the category or the prompt of joy. Rap-a-tap-tap, like the book is just full of joy. And then this one, Vivaldi's music, I find to be very joyful. So that's why I picked this one. And this goes through all of Vivaldi's struggle to become a musician in face of the opposition from his mother and then the support of his dad. And then in his career, some of the bumps that he had, but mostly it's just a very engaging biography for children about him. This is for the category of night. A fox went out on a chilly night, which is a folk song. You may have heard, oh, why can't I think of their name? Anyway, there's a group that sings it. I love their rendition of it. You've probably heard it. And I love to sing this one. This comes from a whole series by Fire Robin, who is a music educator, and their folk songs with beautiful full-page color illustrations so that you can sing the song to the students. And my students never get tired of them. And many of them are familiar with this song from having heard it before. And then if you don't know the music, it has it in the back for you to sing. This also I picked for the category of night, The Magic Flute, based on the opera by Mozart. Look at those end pages, the illustrations. So cool. And then it is long. This is a really good resource, like if you're a homeschooler, to use for your music program, because it's very detailed and it's accessible. But it might take some time, so you might want to spread it out like over a whole unit. And it comes with a CD, or you can find the music easily online. And I'm sure modern editions of the book have like an MP3 or something. I picked it for night because the Queen of the Night aria is a well-known aria from this opera, and my students really love it. So, and then Hush is also for the prompt of night, a Caldecott Honor winner. And this I use for, we have a few folk song lullabies that we learn, first of all, but also for young children for learning the concept of soft and loud and learning that vocabulary. Because to them, soft doesn't necessarily mean quiet. So they have to learn that we use that term. And then this whole book goes through the mom, her baby sleeping, but all these animals are making this sound. So the kids love making these sound effects. And it's in Thai. So they're the Thai sound effects, not English. Like G, G for the mouse. So finally, everything is quiet. All the animals are sleeping. The mom is sleeping. But of course, baby's awake. And then, speaking of sound effects, this is my only book for the category or the prompt of Peach. This is, I love those end papers there. Sound effects galore. And it's by Wynton Marsalis, which is so fun. And this is just, the kids love to make these sound effects. So after the first read through, they are able to do all those sound effects with me. But it also teaches them that, there's music everywhere, to listen for the music everywhere. And it gets them to explore the full range of their vocal capabilities. We go high, we go low, we go loud, we go soft with these sounds. We make all kinds of different timbres with our voices. And it's just plain old fun. I picked it for Peach because, honestly, it's more a little bit orange, but there's that orangish color all the way through the book, and all the text is that color, and it goes through each illustration as well. Then we have Berlioz the Bear by Jan Brett, and Jan Brett is just my favorite picture book writer and illustrator. Just my favorite. No contest. I love all of her books. I love how detailed they are. I love how she researches, because she mostly writes like folk tales or inspired by folk tales, and she researches the settings. Look at the authentic looking clothing that they're wearing, And then I picked it for the nature prompt because Berlioz and his musicians, they're going to an important gig that they have, a performance, and their little wagon gets stuck and the donkey won't move. And so all around the frames and the borders on the pages, so many details. But anyway, the donkey moves because a bee stings it on the butt. And then all of a sudden, everybody's moving and they make it on time and everyone enjoys the music. So, love Jan Brett. Love these illustrations. I could just gaze at them and look at all of those details for hours. And then we have In the Hall of the Mountain King, also for nature. So this is another one based on a piece of music by Edvard Grieg from Norway. And the setting is just very, very nature centered. And all of the pictures in the first part of the story is all about the boy Pierre, because this is from the Peer Gynt suite, the Peer Gynt folk tales in Norway. And he's just exploring nature, climbing trees, that sort of thing. And the fun thing about this book, another good one for homeschooling, is you listen to the music while you read the story, and it provides a great soundtrack as the tension builds and he's exploring the castle, and then the king finds him and he's in big trouble, and so he has to escape the castle. And the kids love it. This is easily one of their favorite pieces of music, for good reason. And then it's just a fun story that goes with it. And he says he's never going to go on an adventure again, at least for a while. And then Going on a Bear Hunt, another good nature one, and another one with sound effects and motions. Like, that's basically the perfect combination. And it's a good one for fast and slow and loud and soft. Those are the concepts I'm using this book for with the students. And I've actually had kindergartners and first graders memorize this and perform it for, different kind of parent performances. And it's always a big hit. I also use this for the difference between singing voice and speaking voice, because some things I sing and some things I speak. And to be honest, a few kids in my experience have been a little bit scared by this bear. So we have to have reassuring talks about a little bit of counseling sessions about how everybody's fine and the bear doesn't really hurt anybody and it's all our imagination, etc. And then the little engine I put in the blue category, although multiple of these books could go with blue. This is a vintage book that is reprinted. This is not a vintage edition. And I love it, and the kids love it. It's very much in the style of a fable, if you've not read this, which I feel like everybody probably has. And the vintage illustrations are so fun. And I use different voices for the trains, and I use it mostly for the concept of fast and slow, about how the train goes very, very slowly up the mountain, but then once it gets to the other side, it can go fast. This is one of the singing books, and this is for the category of change. A Mighty Fortress is Our God is a hymn that was written during a time of great change, the Reformation, by Martin Luther. And this book is meant to be sung. It's a great way. I love singing hymn books. It's a great way to introduce children to hymns. The illustrations are engaging, and the illustrations in this one are a little bit dark, and kind of like vague and stylized a little bit, but that's fine because it gives them the ideas of what the song is about. And it keeps their eyes and therefore their mind engaged as I'm singing the song. It helps them to learn the words. I will say the words are a different version from what most of us are used to having heard and or sung. And the words, you can sing them with the tune that we mostly know, but the original tune is a different rhythm. than we are used to singing. Like, a mighty fortress is our God, a trusty shield and weapon. Like, that's a little bit different. And then Becoming Bach, another good one for people, April. I absolutely love this very simple biography for children. I love how the illustrator used music notes throughout every illustration. It's about how Bach was born in a family of Bachs, which is a word for musician. And they were all musicians, and he just grew up in that family. And he desperately wanted to be a musician like everyone who came before him and all of his relatives and everyone in his family. And these full page, full color illustrations are just absolutely stunning. And we trace his development through his early years and his hours of practice and how he sees patterns everywhere. Bach's music is full of patterns. And many people consider him a genius, a musical genius. And we take him through his adolescence to the point where he feels like maybe he has finally arrived at his goal of actually being a musician. I love this page. You have to turn it vertically to look at it. And it's just the full length of a pipe organ, and he's sitting at it and playing at it. It's a pivotal moment in this story. And I love how these flowery patterns here are coming straight from the pipes on the organ. So it's the music. And I just think that was so beautifully done. Love the details here and the accuracy. And then he finally had become a Bach.
I hope you enjoyed that little tour of my picture book collection at work. And let me know what your favorite picture books are. And if you know of any that are music related in any way, please let me know, because I'm always looking for books to add to my collection. Don't have much more room to store them, but I'll figure something out. Talk to you later. Bye.